have a closer look at those stories, starting with the Telegraph, Paul. What have they got on the cover?
Shapps, woke extremists are rife in army. So this is obviously Grant Shapps, and the Cabinet Minister warned that the drumbeat of those who despise Britain is failing the army and the public. So Grant Shapps has vowed to end this poisonous woke culture that has crept into the military, and he on Monday is launching a review of diversity rules. And there's one place, there's a number of jobs where woke culture is really not of any advantage whatsoever, particularly when you need to win, or if there's any aggression involved. And we're not talking about microaggressions here. We're talking about massive aggressions
involving weapons and machine guns and things like that,
where just the sight of someone could mean they should instantly be killed. It probably isn't the best place to wear the trans flag.
Well, and also, the whole basis of diversity, equity and inclusion is critical race theory, which says that, whiteness should be abolished and, cast scorn on patriotism and all the things that an army really needs to be effective, Nicholas.
Exactly. So, obviously, critical race theory and wokeism is an antithesis to meritocracy. So the idea is, if you're successful, it's because you have oppressed someone or your ancestors oppressed someone, and that's why we have to socially engineer everything and go for reparations and all that. And this comes on the back of alarming trend that we have recently seen in the aviation industry, another industry when you want people to be there not because they are representing the demographics. Or why should the aviation or the army represent the demographics of this? Aren't you supposed to? Does the British basketball team represent the demographics of the nation, or just the tallest ones who are the best at throwing the ball into the hoop?
Of course, there are certain places you don't want equality of outcome. In fact, you don't care for equality of outcome. You want the outcome you want. Is for the very best people.
Not to be annihilated.
Forced inclusion, forced diversity in adverts, for example. I mean, I don't really mind that the only place you see white guys in adverts is when it's an advert for, something terrible like domestic abuse or gambling or, alcoholism or something like that. It's like, fine, fair enough. But when it comes to the army, when it comes to airlines, I mean, I don't want planes falling out of the sky because somebody got the job because they had to tick some box for representation.
Exactly, because you want to win the wars, because if you lose, there might be no society and no demographics at all.
Actually, that sounds pretty good. We could remake Britain.
Or make Britain great again, did you say?
Be occupied by a non-woke, anti-woke army. Wink, wink. I don't say which one I'm talking about.
The Russian army's not woke. So
Putin was just saying how much he celebrates diversity and inclusion.
Of course he does
in his interview. No, he really genuinely did. He's an absolute waif shell, and I think that interview woke up a lot of.
He does want to include Ukraine into Russia, doesn't he? So if that is not inclusion, I don't know what is.
Very inclusive.